or it might have been after I was leaving the second time. I think it was after I was leaving the second time. He comes up to me, stands next to me with her, and he's like, "Yo, bro, we really like you. And, would you consider continuing to do this with us? But we don't want to deal with your boss because he was giving us a hard time or whatever. So can we have your number if you want to continue this with us and we go from there?" And I was like, "Yo, I just had the time of my life with this girl, man." So I gave her, he goes, "Babe, take his number." She took my number, and that's how the communication started from that point on. With Cassie and I texting back and forth and calls and, for coming to freak offs and stuff.
All right, could I ask a quick question? Now I'll let the next person go. Did you personally witness anything that may have came off illegal to you, unethical, or where did the problems really start, or where did you start feeling uncomfortable with this whole situation?
So I'm glad you actually asked that question, and here's why. There's only one time outside of the actual physical abuse, which is a crime, right? Let's get that clear. But there's only one other thing. And the only reason why I'm saying this is I don't know how many people in the chat that's just showing up. Anybody just showing up, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Daniel Phillip. I'm one of the guys that was involved with the Diddy and Cassie scandal. I was the guy that testified, was subpoenaed to testify against the trial.
You're getting it. There you go. You slide it in there. Good. Keep going.
Yeah, today is my first live. That's why they showing love. And let me tell you, these ladies here have been showing me love since I came in, pulled up to some other people's lives, and they've been helping me here. So please, Maya, you see Maya in the chats, please follow, show her some love. Definitely show Manny some love. Show all these people some love. Me, definitely show me some love. You see me in the chat here. Please continue following everybody that I'm mentioning here. They really looking out. I'm her. Please show some love to I'm her. So Manny, oh, I'm sorry. No, it was Blaze, right? Blaze, I was answering your question. There was one other time that I was invited to come to the Jeremiah Essex house with Diddy and Cassie. And when I got there, it was very unusual because there was only one other time that I saw Diddy open the door himself to a freak off. And that was when the cat was out the bag. I had already knew who he was from day one when he spoke to me because of his voice. I knew right there, yo, ain't no one on earth has that voice but this man. And I knew exactly who he was. I didn't know who she was until my boss told me because she had booked me with her actual credit card and her actual name on it. And that's how we put the two together. But the one time, other than when the cat was out the bag, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, that Diddy opened the door. He opened the door because they asked me to come there. And when I got there, he opened that door, let me in. I see Cassie literally laid out on a couch, literally like this. She's half on the couch, half off the couch, and she's just like she looks like a corpse. And you could tell she was completely inebriated or ugged. And yeah, so I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna happen. Diddy was like, this ain't gonna happen.
So are you saying that you felt like she was ugged, like D-U-R-G?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying because I later learned through other people, and I'm glad you said that too, because I later learned through other people that they were taking Uggs extensively, right? But with me, she was always, rather, it seemed like she was always coherent. She was always put together. And if she was using when she was with me, she was incredibly functional doing so. I couldn't tell at all. So this was the only time that I'm saying that I came to, a freak off, and she seemed entirely inebriated, ugged, like on Uggs, or like, I don't know what happened there. I wasn't there, and I don't want to make any presumptions And so I'll say that. But yeah, that was the only other time that I said it looked like a crime scene. So perhaps it was a crime. I possibly did witness a crime there, but I didn't see the crime itself taking place. But it certainly looked unethical. I'll tell you that.
All right. So just to lead off that answer, have you personally ever seen her do Uggs before in front of
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Ooh,
Once with me. And Diddy. So they offered me what they told me was Ali with an M in front of it.
got it.
Right. And I don't know if it was actually Unchi with a T in front of it. But yeah, they offered this to me, and I was sick for like 3 days. They told me it was gonna be something that made me feel real good. I told them that I had always wanted to try like hallucinogens. And so that was the reason why I said that I would do it. But yeah, I ended up trying it, ended up sick for like 3 days, gave out like $5,000 in the middle of Times Square, didn't know what the heck I was doing, ended up home somehow, don't know how I got there. Crazy, just craziness. They ended up kicking me out. Um, because one thing I learned for sure early on is that I can't do any kind of Uggs at all. My body doesn't handle it at all. And so it just doesn't work. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that happens to me. I had to smoke a cigarette once for a movie, and that made me incredibly sick. And so yeah, I don't partake.
Hey, Daniel, do you want to add some more squares so more people can come up? Are you happy with
But you
the
guys can't do that.
situation? Yeah. We
Yeah,
can do
let's
that. I
do
just
it.
want to make sure that I'm
Well,
respecting what you want to do. So,
yeah, I love it. Like let's
because
go
you're
with
going to
it.
be smaller, and then it will give your chat. It will just make it easier for them to read the comments because it's like the white on white.
Hmm.
So I'll go ahead and do that for you. You keep talking.
Actually, oh, you can do it. Wonderful. Great. Yeah, you can add as many as you want. Now that you guys are helping me with that part, I am good to do it this way. So
Okay. So were you ever like pressured into any silence about any situations, and by who and for what?
I can't say that I was pressured. Well, I guess you can say. There was when and I'm glad you just asked me that because I never segmented back into what happened with how I ended up seeing Diddy for the first time. But I ended up seeing Diddy for the first time, full on Diddy, no mask, no hat, because I was supposed to meet them at the Downtown Dream Hotel in New York. And Cassie called me like midway down there, and she's like, "Oh, we're changing hotels. We're going back up to the Jeremiah Essex house uptown." And so she told me, "Don't go to stop at the front desk. Just go straight into the elevator. Go up to room. I think it was like 5001, something like that. Go up to the room and just knock on the door." And so I did that. But she said, "Wait 30 minutes." So I waited 30 minutes, and I did that. And when I got to the room, Diddy had opened the door, and he was in a full on suit, literally like Sean John, like runway Diddy. And I was like, "Oh, snap." And so, I mean, like I said, I had already known who he was. I'd already known who she was, but he closed the door. He was like, "Yo, give me a second." He closed the door, and then I hear him like chewing Cassie out, like yelling at her. And yeah, after that, it was a wrap. They opened the door, and he never wore a hat or anything else after that.
So who you saying that you felt like you were pressured into being silenced about that, speaking on that?
Yes, yes. So what happened with
By
that?
who? I'm
Well,
sorry.
after that happened, after he invited me into the room, he asked me, he's like, "Yo, fam, you got a driver's license?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so he asked me to see my driver's license, and then he took a picture of my driver's license. He was like, "Yeah, just in case, you know." and so gave it back to me, and I was like, okay, so we all know what that means. If I'm about to think I'm about to open my mouth and start talking about this situation, I might want to think twice about that one, right? So
So
yeah.
you felt like he was intimidating. That felt intimidating to you that he took a picture
Well,
of
I'll
your
put it to you
license.
this way.
Yeah.
I in 2017 I wrote a song, right? I found out that I can make incredible music, man. And I wrote a song that sort of uh talks about what a freak off experience is like. And I wrote this song because Tank came out with that song When We, and
That's my boy.
yeah, so I wanted to do something that was like fly like that. And so I came out with a song called Fornicating, right? And I didn't come out with it. I wrote and sang this song called Fornicating. And I cannot tell you how many people tried to get me to put that song out in 2017. They were like, it is incredible. It is guaranteed to blow. Please don't. And it took me up until this year after this trial. And after I had scrubbed all my information off the internet, I put that song out a week ago, probably. I think about a week ago now. And the reason why was because one of the other guys that was involved in this situation, that I'm in contact with and stuff. We talk to each other to try to remember because all of this happened so long ago. He begged me. He was like, bro, like, please, I'm begging you. This song is fire. You have to put it out there. So that was the only time that I put it out there. But the reason I didn't put it out in 2017 was because I was afraid. I was thinking, yo, your man's is going to come after me if he hears this song. He's definitely going to be like, yo, he's trying to talk, and he would have came at me. So yeah, crazy.
Did you ever like raise any concerns about any Diddy behavior or Cassie's behavior, and to who, or and how was it received?
Wait, before you answer that, because I don't want you to get sidetracked, details about that song. Why would you think that he would come after you? Like, what did you mention in the song?
Well, the song starts out saying, I want that baby oil lubrication. Just those two words alone, he was damn sure gonna be like, yo. And when he saw that it was me, and then what the song is talking about, he'd have definitely been like, yo, nah, fam, this dude is out here trying to drop clues. He's definitely gonna be like talking. He'd have came after me.
Okay.
What I did was try to get Cassie to leave him. I was trying to get her to understand that she was in danger. The reason I didn't go to the police is, look, I'm from Harlem, right? I grew up in a place called the Polo Grounds, and everyone knows about Diddy in Harlem. So we basically understand that or it's understood that this guy's reach is basically unlimited, right? We've all seen this guy slip out of charges, and get other people to go down for that. And, it's almost like he's untouchable by law enforcement. And it's presumed that he is either an informant, and that's why, or he has these guys in his pocket. And so me going to law enforcement about this was just another one of those things that I was thinking could end up costing me my life in the end. And it sucks to think about that, like, because it's like, dang, who do you turn to in a situation like this, right? And so I felt like I could only talk to Cassie about it. And so I that was the way that I handled it. I tried to get her to leave, but it also weighed heavily on me that maybe something would have happened if someone would have helped her if I did just take that chance and go to law enforcement. And so I felt a lot of guilt over the years, but I hear a lot of people saying, oh, I would have done this and I would have done that. You wasn't there, man. You don't know what you would do if you was in that situation. And so you could say that, but what
So, Daniel,
With that question,
I have a question.
I wanted to ask.
I'm sorry, Sophia. I've been here for a minute. Give me a second.
Go ahead.
So,
What's up,
Daniel, What's up, Daniel?
This is Her, everybody. We love Her. Please support her right now. Send some love. Thank you.
Big
Go
shout out,
ahead.
Daniel. Okay. Most of these people know me in here. But also I want you to go back to some things that we talked about yesterday when you stated that you called Cassie and reached out to her people to try to help her. And this isn't to make Cassie seem like a bad person. You just want the truth on the record from your side, right?
Right.
So what made you even reach out? What made you want to help her? You and Clayton reach out to Cassie's people, right?
Correct. When she first initially dropped her lawsuit, I felt incredibly guilty all those years that I hadn't intervened, when I was seeing Diddy be physical with her. And so I kind of figured that, and I had some therapy by this point already. And so I kind of figured that this is an opportunity for me to try to make this right. But I will also say that I didn't have the totality of the situation, right? And so I am certainly of the mindset right now that Cassie was actually complicit in this thing. And the reason why, and I'm sure you can recall, what I was telling you about meeting.
Yeah, but before you go there to why you saying she was complicit. So once you reach out, and when you reach out to them, you were only reaching out on the civil matter, right?
Correct.
So, and how long of a process from the civil matter to the feds calling you did that take?
Days, couple days.
So this was even before her claim had it was 24 hours. So within that 24 hours, her claim went through. So within a matter of days, they had contacted you after her claim went through.
No more than 1 week. I was contacted directly by HSI.
And what year and time frame was this?
2023, November 2023. That's when she filed her lawsuit, right? I think it was November 2023.
Yes, November 16th, 2023.
Yeah.
November, because the what was that law that was about to expire? Because it was going to expire after December, right? What was that? Survivor Act law.
It was a Survivor Act law, but she filed it November 16th of 2023, so they had to reach out to you before like Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was in full contact with them, with HSI and the NYPD a week after Cassie, I reached out to her team, and her lawyers, they actually had passed my information on to the feds. And that's when the feds basically contacted me directly and tried to get me to come in.
So you and I differ from on a little bit of the Cassie situation. I respect you. We good, but I have my opinion. You got your truth, but I got my opinion. You know what I mean? Because
we got to let them know what that means, right?
Go ahead.
Because my opinion is that if Diddy would have just paid this girl, he had all the money, all of it, and if he would have just paid her that $30 million, heck, he should have paid her 50 to make sure that this was going away. Then none of this would have ever came out. None of this would have ever been an issue for any of us. And Her feels more like
I feel differently because I believe that even though he paid her out, all she wanted him to do, from her words, is for him to read that book. So either way, she was going to put that book out. After that, I believe Cassie will still put this book out. And her being complicit in the acts with y'all, it was a little bit different from her intimacy with her man she was sharing. So y'all only seen the half of the whole. So y'all can only answer to what y'all seen. So of course she was seen complicit from that angle because you're only seeing half of the whole.
But how do you explain the Dream Hotel incident then?
I'm only seeing the half of the whole again.
Okay.
And by the way, the Dream Hotel is a beautiful hotel.
It is the Downtown Dream Hotel. For reference, for everyone doesn't know what we're talking about right now, most likely, right? What happened at the Downtown Dream Hotel is I was with another model friend of mine, and I had a room at the Downtown Dream Hotel, and there was a Victoria's Secret party going on there. So there was a bunch of celebrities, everybody was there, and I run into Cassie in front of the hotel. And Cassie's with two of her homegirls out there. They out there smoking cigarettes, chopping it up and stuff. Diddy is nowhere around. He is nowhere around at all. It's just Cassie. She sees me. I see her. She sees my model friend and gives her the death stare. And then I go up to my room with my friend. And I explained to her, I had already explained to her that I knew Cassie. I don't remember to what extent I had told her, but I had to explain to her in detail now what that actually was about. Within about 30 minutes of me being in that room, I get a call from Cassie. And Cassie is like, yo, I want to meet you. And so she basically blocked me and asked me to meet her uptown at a hotel uptown. I ended up meeting her up there, and sure enough, she was giving me ish about the fact that I had this girl. And the reason why is because in our encounters, Cassie never wanted me to have another girl, and she would make that very clear. And part of the reason she was using that as part of the reason for me feeling safe, that she wasn't giving me her STD results, right? Because I constantly was giving her my STD results, and then I would ask her for hers, and she would give me this crazy excuse for why, I got it done, but I just got to log onto the computer. I forgot the password. I'll do it tomorrow and I'll text you. It was always something like that. And the reason she was able to get away with that is because I would only see them once every 6 months, once every 4 months, and then the 3 months after that, and then 6 months again after that. It was like very sporadic that way. And so she would be like, yeah, I have to get updated ones. It's been too long now, so you need updated ones, things like that. So what she would do is she would basically spin that narrative so that I wouldn't be with other women, but also so that she felt like it was only me, her, and Diddy in this situation where he's watching me and her engaging, right? So here's why I say she's complicit in that. She and Diddy were the only two that knew definitively the totality of what was going on. We didn't know. I didn't know there was 40 other guys that was involved in this situation. And for whatever reason Cassie had, whether it be she wanted a baby by that man or she was hoping that he would marry her or whatever the case may be, she was spinning all kinds of lies to get me comfortable enough to want to sleep with her unprotected, one, but two, she really did not want me to be with any other women. And it was clear that day that was personally her choice and personal for her by the way that she treated my friend that was there that day. And I don't see how can you explain that Diddy was nowhere around? If she was being forced to sleep with me personally, why in the heck did she call me and, block my situation that I had with my friend?
I mean, that is possible for her now to take ownership in a fashion and then display that with you. That is possible. Being that she learned it, she witnessed it. Sometimes she was a part of it. Even the first encounter where she opens the door and he's sitting in the chair, she has to own those moments that she does engage willfully.
Does that make her complicit though?
It does make her complicit. It's hard to hear, but it does make her complicit. Yes, that's true.
Why would you think that it's hard to hear?
Yo, what up,
because
brother?
she is a victim.
Hey, what's up, DP?
It's hard to hear because she's also a victim.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm the biggest advocate right now. I'm the guy saying, listen, I don't condone a damn thing that Diddy did to that woman physically at all. I 100% will sit here and tell you that she was a victim of domestic violence. I 100% wish that I had the mental fortitude in that moment to be able to collect myself and stand up as a man and protect that woman in that moment. All of the above. But there's another side to this.
Okay,
And
but Daniel,
what
I don't want
upset
you to
me,
be. But Daniel, I don't want you to beat yourself up too much because you also have to realize in your journey, you also had to do work on yourself for your own
yeah,
traumas.
yeah,
So
for
definitely
sure.
don't beat yourself up in a moment because you also had to deal with your own traumas while navigating life. And a lot of times men don't get that support. See, you will give it all to her and forget that you even had to battle and go through something from eight
Yeah, no,
years old.
that is true, 100%. I'm pretty much good with that now, right? Like I've dealt with that at this point, and so I'm just saying that I definitely am able to separate the two, but there is something that does upset me about this, and it is the fact that there were things that Cassie had done that simply made her complicit in this. And one of them was, all the times that I talked to her, during these freak offs where Diddy would be on a phone call in the room, whatever, and it's just me and her chopping it up or whatever. At what point does she decide that, hey, listen, I should tell you this might not be the best situation for you to be involved in. You should go. Thankfully for me, I never caught an STD, but it's come out publicly now that she had given at least one other guy, chlamydia and admitted it. So, this was far beyond just, oh, we're all having